Hey guys, this is Crypto Dash. Um, I know I haven't made a video in a while. I'm usually talking about XRP and cryptocurrencies and about motorcycle, but being that it's winter, I cannot go on rides, which that's gonna change in the foreseeable future. I bought some heated gear from Gervin. It should be arriving in the next couple of days, and I will go out and basically ride my motorcycle and get away from things. I've noticed that the negativity is filling up the world. There's a lot of negativity right now, uh, political negativity. There's a lot of rhetoric from both sides, and it's becoming very toxic. And people like have to get away from it. I know I got caught up in all that stuff. And I realized the harm that I was doing to myself and to those that I love because I became very close minded. I became very abrasive and distant, and and it just destroyed me inside. Um, and my anxiety level was up through the roof, and I need a way to basically get that out of me. Um, Talking to like-minded people is not going to work, bro. Why? Because you're just going to feed on what you have to say, and you're going to feed on what they said. Um, you have to be able to talk, take some time for yourself, and talk to yourself, and see what you're going to do going forward. But politically, the country, it is what it is. You know, was there some irregularities that were there? Yes, there were. Do people don't want to pay attention to what went on? Well, you know what? We have no power over that. And my father once told me that there's a difference between having money and having power. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the power, you can't do anything about it. And people are being censored. Corporations that hide behind Section 230 are now censoring other platforms, and it's kind of ridiculous. And you know what? What can we do? Keep fighting the good fight. You know, that's what we've been doing. But we have to know what we need to do. It cannot be destructive. It cannot be violently. It has to be, in a way, according to the constitutional law. You cannot go out there and destroy property just for the sake of destroying property because you think you are not being heard. And that's what's going on. And it's going to get worse. I know what's coming. Why? Because I'm married to somebody from Venezuela who escaped that. And everything that's going on right now in this country is happening. Little by little. People don't see what's going on because they choose not to see, or because they're blinded, or because they hold their fundamental beliefs. They have a stronghold on it, and no matter what, they're not going to get away from that, which is very, very toxic. I don't know where we're going to go from here. I hope the next administration that's coming on is able to oblige by the laws of the Constitution and not circumvent them, because that's what we noticing that they're doing. They're circumventing laws to give themselves power, and we need to figure out what we need to do. I myself have to reassess, look in the mirror, and look at myself and see what can I do constructively for my family and for my friends and my neighbors. There are things that's going to come on later on in the years of this administration that are going to be total out of the norms of what the United States is all about. It happened in Venezuela, like I said. First, they went ahead and elected Hugo Chavez, whether by illegally or legally, who knows? Nobody wants to look at the evidence. Evidence doesn't matter anymore. Only if you don't have the power does evidence matter. So you can see with the criminal reforms that is going on right now. But what's coming is, hopefully, I'm wrong. I pray to God every single day that I'm wrong, and my prayer and my relationship with God has become even stronger the closer um, that the year progresses. So day by day, I get stronger emotionally and spiritually. So what's probably going to come about this? Well, we know that Biden will be the next United States president, you know, and his administration is forcing him to pick very progressive, liberal, socialist slash communist people to different positions within the government. That is exactly what happened with Chavez. The left, we should not be calling the left anymore liberals. They are socialist communists. That's what they are. With the help of the deep state on both sides. A lot of people think it's just the Democrats. It's not only the Democrats. He's talking about people in the Democratic Party, people in the Republican Party, and people in the Independent Party. There are deep state individuals that are looking to bring down the total domination of the U.S. economy worldwide. They want to bring forth another paradigm. Whatever it is, it could be the Chinese, it could be the Russians, it could be the Martians. They do not want the U.S. dollar and the U.S. economy to be the dominant figure around the world. How is that going to affect you? Well, you need to look into the mirror again and do your research and see how is that going to affect me. Because by me saying this is what's going to happen and this how it's going to affect you, it's all relative. It might not affect you, but it might affect me. A lot of pundits out there, a lot of people on YouTube are talking about destruction, reconstruction, the New World Order, or the World Economic Forums, or they're talking about the New Reset. These things might affect you, but it might not affect other people. Other people are totally oblivious of what's going on right now. They don't care, they refuse to care, or they are being blinded by, who knows? A storm is coming, a very big storm. The left, the progressive left, the Republican rhinos, and the independents within the deep state, they want to be in power forever. And that's what they're doing. They have colluded with big tech, and they have censored the voices of those who are speaking out against the tyranny that is happening in this country. When you censor these people, or when you don't choose to look for evidence in regards to some type of irregularity when it comes to voting system, and it goes from the smallest scale, that person who is counting the votes, to the larger scale, which is the United States Supreme Court and the Senate and the Congress. They refuse to look at these things. That, in turn, discourage people from trusting the system and from voting the system. That's what happened in Venezuela. It's gonna happen here. A lot of people talking about 2022, we're gonna primary. I even called it. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I even called, let's primary all these Republican rhinos that are out there. Let's primary all these Democrats that are out there trying to hurt the country. Because there are good Democrats. There are conservative Democrats on the other side. And there are conservative Republicans. But they are being outnumbered. And their voices are being silenced by the majority. So, when you have all these three parties, which is big tech, news, media, and government, colluding together to bring about a fundamental change of what the United States is all about and what the Constitution allows us to be, people get discouraged and they don't vote. They distrust the system and they don't vote. That's what happened in Georgia. A lot of people, a lot of Republicans distrusted. A lot of people distrusted. Jesus, I can't talk. Distrusted the system. Excuse me, it's my English as a second language. And they didn't go out and voted. So, two Democratic senators, controversial Democratic senators, were chosen. Now, the Republican Party lost the majority in the Senate. Now it's a 50-50 split with one vote going, the deciding vote going to the Vice President, which in this case is Kamala Harris. So the country lost. I cannot say we anymore. I cannot say we, the conservative, because no, it's both the Democrat and the conservatives lost. There are Democrats out there that are law-abiding citizens, and they are people of faith and people of love for country. It's not only Republican. There's a lot of misconstruction about that. A lot of people are conservative and it's supposed to be Republican. No, they're not. So the country distrusts the system. Nobody will go out to vote in 2022. People saying, "Oh, let's make a new party." The Patriot Party or the Tea Party. It won't matter what kind of party you have. You have a unified party now in power. And they will remain in power for the foreseeable future because nobody trusts the system. And they're not going to vote for anybody because they have been lied to, misled, and abused. The First Amendment has been destroyed. Nobody cannot say anything anymore without being blacklisted by banks or media or employers or anything. You have a post talking about Trump, supporting Trump, guess what? You have been blacklisted. I'm sure I have been blacklisted. It's just a matter of time before it comes and affects me. Now, they took the First Amendment right away. Now they're going after the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms. This happened in Venezuela. Hugo Chavez took the First Amendment because after 1776 and the Bill of Rights were signed, a lot of countries around the world decided to choose and adopt our way of democracy. A lot of people say that we are a democratic country. We're not a democratic country. We are a republic based on free market principles. And we choose our electors democratically. Okay? That's what we do. We're not a democracy. And a lot of countries around the world decided to adopt our constitution. Venezuela used to go by a similar constitution based on the United States Constitution. And guess what? When Chavez came, they threw that out the window. First, they silenced the voices. They took all media and nationalized it. Now the opposition didn't have a voice. The next thing they did, they went ahead and split the opposition. How? When you had the opposition trying to take back power from Chavez, elements within the opposition started breaking off and making their own little demands. That took the power away. People didn't trust the Chavez government, They were looking into the opposition, and guess what? The opposition started betraying them, just like it happened here with the Republican Party. Now you split the party. In that case, in Venezuela, it happened to be the opposition party. That's what's happening. There are elements, there are people, there are citizens that distrust the Republican Party. Where they're going to go? Independent? Guess what? The independents don't have a voice. Now, the only party that could have done something went ahead and betrayed us, the American people, both Democrat and Republican. Now, what they're going to do next? They're going to go after the Second Amendment. How do they going to do it? By instituting laws where you cannot buy anything. A lot of companies that sell arms online have been deplatformed by Google and Yahoo and all these search engines because they are taking away the ISP address, the Internet Service Provider address. A lot of people don't think about that. Oh, I'm just going to go to the Internet and make my own. No, you can't. When you have conglomerates, when you have big tech monopolies monopolizing the Internet, you cannot go to GoDaddy and build your own website because they're going to deplatform you. They're not going to take it from you. They're not going to take any money from you. I mean, they are not going to allow you to do what you need to do to save the country. The country is already gone. It is already gone. It's not the country from, I would say, it's not the country of 15 years ago. When I came to this country, it was in the 80s. It's not that country anymore. It started deteriorating in the 90s with George W. Bush, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, and Trump was trying to do something about it. And guess what? We got destroyed. Now we have Biden with the CCP, and it's a fact. You have Google, you have Yahoo, you have all these search engines, internet service providers that are trying to rewrite history. This is the new world order, guys. Or they changed the name. This is the Economic World Forum, or the World Economic Forum, the WEF. This is the new paradigm. And you need to be informed. You cannot walk around not knowing anything, being complacent, being ignorant of what's happening. And I always go back to my father when he tells me the hard-headed always have to feel it to believe it. What happened at Capitol in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol was an insurrection by the deep state. They wanted to split the Republican Party apart, and they did so. And they are doing so. What are you going to do to provide for your family? This is 1984. I suggest you guys to read that book. Don't watch the freaking movie. Read the book. George Orwell, 1984. That book was written in the 1940s. And that's what's happening. People are being deprogrammed by media, big media. They're being told how to think and how to act. History is being rewritten, whether you like it or not. So, be smart about what you do. Wake up. Both my Democrat friends and my Republican friends, my independent friends, my Tea Party friends, you have to wake up. And to Antifa and BLM and the Proud Boys, you got to know something. You are being used. You are being used, and you don't even know about it. Wake up. Pray. Come back to the Lord. Come back to Jesus Christ, our God, our Savior. And if you don't believe in God, and if you don't believe in any denomination, Believe in God. Don't believe in religion. That's another thing. Religion is meant to separate you from others. That's why you have the Catholics against the Jews against the Muslims, and the Muslim against everybody else. Believe in God. Believe in the Trinity. That's all you need to believe in. You don't need a pope. You don't need a rabbi. You don't need an imam. You don't need a grand ayatollah. You don't need any of that. All you need is a deep faith in God. That's all. Forget about your pastors, your priests, your churches. Forget about all that. Just believe in the higher being, God. That's it. Pray to that person. Pray for forgiveness. Pray for faith. Pray for patience. That's what I'm doing. It's not easy. And I tell my kids all the time, it's not easy being you guys right now. And you got to understand that. You got to put yourself in their position, in their shoes. They're going through something that you and I have never been through. The closest thing that our kids right now are going through is what kids in the 1940s and the 1910s went through with World War I and World War II. The constant pressure and stress that they're going through. The same thing with us. We're going through an insurmountable amount of stress, both at work and our personal lives, with our friends, our neighbors, and our families. Some of us have destroyed relationships based on political ideology. I know I've been there. And I pray to the Lord every single day to give me the courage and give me the power and the strength to ask for forgiveness every single day. If you don't have nobody to talk to, do what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to a camera. Looking at whoever's trying to look back at me. Whoever wants to listen to what I have to say. And that's what's going to be my daily thing. My commute to work is almost an hour and a half. Because I cannot afford to live closer. That's what government has done to us. I have to travel an hour and a half to get to my work. Every single day. That's 3 hours away from my house. The amount of pressure that I'm on. The amount of stress that we're on. The wear and tear that we put in on our vehicles. The money that we spend. Gas. Oils, parts. We don't have the luxury of talking to a psychiatrist. We don't have the luxury of just getting on a private plane and traveling to Bora Bora or to France, Milan, or wherever the hell they go to. We are the working class. We are the working stiffs. We are the middle class. We are the lower class. You got to look at things relatively speaking. If you have $10 opposed to somebody else who has $0, to that person you are a billionaire. The person with $100 is a billionaire compared to you. Everything is relatively speaking. Let's get away from this 1%, 2%. That's class warfare. That's what they want us to think. We are one human race. Forget about Muslims, forget about Christians, forget about Dominicans, Venezuelan, American, Chinese, forget all about that. Black, African, white, Latino, forget about that. We are one race, and that is the human race, and we need to come together as one race and repel and defeat those that are trying to divide us and those that are trying to put something in us so we can hurt other people. The word of speech is very dangerous. And the person who holds the power of speech can create a lot of havoc. You don't need a gun. You don't need a rifle. You don't need a gun. You don't need a bomb, basically. You don't need anything. If you have the power of speech, you can conquer nations. Be mindful. Listen. Don't hear. People are fed up. People are angry. People are sad. People are depressed. This thing right here is not making it better. It's making it worse. Take your vitamins. Vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin D, vitamin B12. Zinc. Do exercises. Keep your immune system up. Listen. Don't hear. Listening will inform you and gives you knowledge. Hearing destroys you because you hear what they want you to hear. You don't listen what they want you to hear. Get a hobby. Go out. Go do what you need to do. Wear the mask. If you need to go garden this winter. Try to find a way to keep your mind occupied. Leave your house if you can. Put on the mask. Go for a nice 2-3 minute walk or 2 hour walk. Or if you have a backyard, go to the backyard and sit on a chair and breathe in the cold air if you're up in the north, or the warm air if you're down south. Stop fighting yourself. With that being said, guys, God bless. I love you all, and I need you guys. Whether you subscribe or not, I don't care, because this is therapy for me. Talking to you guys out there, it's just good therapy. And I suggest get on the phone and make your own video and speak for 10 minutes. Let it all out. Talk about your fears. You talk about your future, what you're looking forward to. Talk about your past. Talk about anything. Just open up the phone and go to YouTube or Rumble, whatever platform you want, and just create a video. Every single day, just release. Let it out. Let it out. Don't listen to these people that want you to hear what they have to say. Basically like me right now. But I'm not looking for subscribers. I'm just here to post my journey now, going forward. What is the world is going to show me now? Before it was just Venezuela. Now I'm here in the United States. Now it's going to be the world. I got to do a better job with my relationship with my wife. Better communication, basically. I shut down communication-wise because of all the crap that is going on worldwide. We still have a loving relationship. Don't get me wrong. I still love my kids. They still love me. We're still together. We're still having a great time. It's just the stress culminating with everything that's going on right now. It gets too much sometimes. You have to be able to know how to let it out, either by going to the gym, going on a run, or just talking. But sometimes you got to understand, going to the gym only makes you forget about it for that time. Then you come back to the same problem. You got to know how to figure out how to solve the problem. You got to know how to be able to ask for help when you need the help. That being said, guys, God bless all of you. God save America, the United States. God save the world. God save Venezuela. And with that, keep up the good fight, guys, with yourself, the Lord up there, and love y'all. Bye.